This is Elm Spring Farm, built by General David Thomson in 1840, who was a pioneering figure from Kentucky, who moved west in search for opportunity. At the age of 58, he settled near Elm Spring and built this federal-style brick home, a symbol of craftsmanship. It was the heart of a growing agricultural estate. He lived here until his death in 1861, and over the decades that followed, the land stayed in care of those who understood its significance. But like many historic places, time took its toll. By the 1960s, the home had fallen into disrepair. That's when Lee Dow stepped in with deep respect for the past and began restoring the house and preserving the legacy of General Thomson. His son, Frank Dow, carried on that work, living on the farm for over 40 years, maturing both the land and its story. After his passing, his daughter Crystal Dow returned to the farm to carry on the legacy he left behind. Her and her family established Elm Spring Farm LLC, ensuring that this piece of Missouri history will be protected for generations to come. The site was chosen not merely for its aesthetics, but for its access to Elm Branch, a tributary of East Fork Tebow Creek renowned in local lore, named for the thriving elm trees that line its banks. Early surveys show fertile bottomland near the stream and gently sloping upland zones ideal for tilling and pasture. Originally, Thomson's holdings beside the spring provided both a reliable water source and a microclimate well suited to early agriculture. The layout included crop fields close to the house, grazing areas beyond, and woodland patches used for timber, firewood, and shade. Over the 19th century, the landscape evolved. As the family grew, their focus expanded. Grain and livestock farming became primary, with open fields gradually replacing parts of the tree-lined creekside. Yet the spring and elm trees remained central landmarks. By the mid-20th century, under Frank Dow's stewardship, the farmland continued to supply sustenance and livelihood. Fields were rotated, corn, wheat, soy, and pastures maintained. Hedgerows and shelter belts of trees stayed intact, offering wind protection and continuity to the historic view. Restoration efforts from the 1960s forward not only revived the house, but also brought back native vegetation and preserved the spring's flow, safeguarding creekside willows and elm groves that give the farm its character. Around 1833 to 1835, General Thomson platted and established Georgetown, making it the first organized community in what would become Pettis County. Thomson's stewardship practices, like conserving water, rotating crops, and managing livestock naturally, laid the groundwork for sustainable agriculture. Later caretakers like the Dows continued this model, showing that profit and preservation can go hand in hand. For nearly 2 centuries, Elm Spring Farm has fed families, supported communities, and stood as a symbol of resilience. But what makes it truly unique is that it remains well suited for sustainable agriculture, even today. By using cover crops, composting, and multi-species grazing, this land can not only produce food, it can improve with each harvest. Rotational grazing systems help rebuild topsoil, trap carbon, and keep parasite loads low, reducing the need for chemical treatments. The farm's mix of open field, creek access, and tree shade creates an ideal microclimate for grass-fed beef, heritage hogs, or pasture-raised poultry. The land still harbors native trees like elm, oak, and walnut, as well as a variety of wildflowers and grasses along its borders. The very design of Elm Spring Farm, its spring-fed center, surrounding trees, rotational space, and historic layout, offers the perfect blueprint for a regenerative farm model. It could host small-scale organic farming, farm-to-table operations, and agroforestry. A farm is more than soil and fence lines. It's a living legacy. And today, the new generation carries that legacy forward at Elm Spring Farm, with a vision rooted in the past but focused on the future. They are committed to exploring sustainable agriculture, like pasture-raised livestock, seasonal crops, and pollinator restoration, aligning with market trends in ethical and regenerative farming, actively maintaining and improving the infrastructure of the farm. From historic outbuildings to fencing and trails, considering ways to diversify income, such as hosting heritage farm tours, developing ecotourism experiences, and offering farm-made products. Elm Spring Farm isn't just acreage, it's a story etched into the earth. Through nearly 2 centuries, the land has endured, shaped by both nature and hands committed to keeping this heritage alive.